Sky here to discuss Chappie, starring Charlton Copley, Dev Patel, Sigourney Weaver, and Hugh Jackman, and directed by Neil Blomkamp. Now, I remember going to movie theaters twice for this movie, when it was in theaters back in 2015, and honestly, I don't know what it was. My friend wanted to take me to see it because of the... And I wanted to see it originally, but this was like during my second viewing where she knows a little bit about those two people that are in the movie. I'll talk about them, but yeah, it's going to be a weird thing talking about this movie after all those years. Let's get into it. This opens like an interview like District 9 did, but poorly edited, and it never happens again throughout the rest of the movie. 18 months earlier, in Johannesburg, where police makes robots of their own as police officers. And why Johannesburg after District 9? I mean, yeah, it was done better than it was here, in my opinion. A company called, let me see if I can say it, Tetraval, who makes the robots, led by CEO Michelle Bradley, played by Sigourney Weaver. And I like Sigourney Weaver in general, but her character is just fucking pathetic. We move on to Ninja and Yolandi Vassar. Those are the two people that I've heard about, but I don't know their music very much. Making a deal with someone bad. And I know a little bit about these guys because when I saw this the second time, a friend of mine was telling me about their music, which does play in the background quite a few times in this movie. And I like the music better than their acting in this movie. And sometimes their background music was so distracting. I can't follow the dialogue during these scenes if they're having that type of music playing in the background. I can't follow it. I really can't. They plan on finding Dion Wilson, played by Dev Patel, who helps make the robots, is the character in the bottom of the characters I don't like, as he's fine in an interesting way. Let me just rephrase that. I like him better than I like Sigourney or Hugh Jackman. We'll get to them. Well, I already brought up Sigourney, but I'll get to Hugh Jackman. But I kind of don't like the way he turns out by the end of the day. But Ninja and Yolandi find Dion when he steals a robot, and they take the robot, which... What a stupid way to hijack the one of the inventors as he's getting it out of the company. At least in my mind, I think. Another character who's pathetic is Vincent Moore, played by Hugh Jackman. And I like Hugh Jackman, but he delivered his worst performance since the goddamn Wolverine origins shit. Ninja and Yolandi ask Dion to connect the robot to have a mind of its own, named Chappie, voiced by Charlton Copley, who's the best performance in the movie, in my opinion anyways. And I love the scene when he comes alive as he learns their names, plus he looks at the watch and plays with the squeaky chicken. That scene was cute in my mind. Chappie explores the home of Ninja and Yolandi and turns on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which was kind of hysterical as a callback. And they have a Cartman in the background too. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I did. And Ninja, for some reason, teaches Chappie how to shoot a gun, despite the fact he's like a kid. And we learn early and often Ninja treats Chappie pretty damn poorly. Meanwhile, we also learn early and often that Vincent is the antagonist. And all this is pointless and bad storytelling. At one point, Ninja leaves Chappie all alone, helpless, and picked on by some gangsters, which was absolutely fucking ridiculous and ludicrous. At one point, he gets Hugh Jackman, or Vincent, let's call him, and he gets his chip taken out of him. I do again admire the shots of Johannesburg, like I did in District 9, as it was pretty to look at, but unfortunately, it's not telling me a satisfying story. Vincent captures Chappie, like I brought up earlier, and cuts his arm off, kind of. Well, yeah, he does, I'm sorry. And steals a chip in his head, like I brought up again. And Chappie escapes and goes back home. And Ninja and Yolandi and America, who's with them for a heist, fix Chappie's arm by getting a new arm. And these scenes are too negative. I'm not satisfied with the story in my mind. Ninja teaches Chappie to shoot, but he made a promise to Dion about not doing any violence. Meanwhile, America teaches Chappie skills with a knife, and next thing you know, Chappie smashes a car and steals a bunch of them and drives one, and I'm having problems with the script, as there's some coming of age stuff I'm enjoying, but the script is a mess. And with an exception of Charlton Copley's and the acting character, the acting in here is horrible. And this movie needs 15 minutes of editing, as the other two movies are an hour and 45 minutes long anyways, but this is a 2-hour long movie. It's 15 minutes too long. The script needs a rewrite, and the acting needs to improve, because this is the director who made good stuff, but so far it's his weakest film yet to date. But I don't believe the 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe it deserves a 40, maybe 42% score in my opinion on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyways, the police robots break down Dion, and Dion takes Chappie to the factory. For what reason other than curing him? I don't know. I don't care. Then the movie fucking loses me at this point. Then Chappie, along with Ninja, Yolandi, and America, do the heist, and Dion knows Vincent is up to something not very good, as Vincent's plan is to destroy Chappie, and lets his robot, who is a killing machine, policing the streets. Chappie is pissed because he killed people, and Ninja lied to him about what the heist was all about, which was a stupid plot point, sure. Ninja, Yolandi, America, Dion, and Chappie have a shootout against Vincent's giant robot as well as some gangsters, and all this is just so fucking stupid. Ninja and Dion get shot. Dion got it much worse, but I'm just not caring at this point. Then the giant robot fucking kills Yolandi, and Chappie blows up the giant robot, and I'm not really giving a shit at this point. Chappie gets vengeance against Vincent for killing Yolandi and beats the shit out of him. Next thing you know, Chappie is helping Dion, transferring his body into a robot body. Yolandi also gets transferred into a robot body because of a chip he put into her conscious forever. And this climax doesn't make sense, as it becomes a disappointment in my opinion. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 3.9 out of 10. This movie was pretty to look at, but the story was so weak. But because the script is a total fucking mess, and I like Chappie as a character, and Charlton Copley does a good job in the role. The writing in this didn't make sense, and the background music was so distracting. It needed 15 minutes of editing, and this is Neil Blomkamp's worst movie to date. At least until he makes maybe Alien or District 10, which is the sequel to District 9, which I think is supposed to be coming up sometime. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and until then, it's time to go bye-bye.